Chava, with your permission. Parashat Vayechi, concluding Sefer Bereshit. The Torah refers to Sefer Bereshit as Sefer HaYashar, the straight book. As the Zohar says, Chas Shalom, Torah tells us the story what happened. It's just a message. Torah tells us the story that Yaakov Avinu is in Egypt now. He lives there for 17 years. He's going to die. He feels he's going to die. He calls up Yosef. He said, please, I would like you to take me to Eretz Israel to be buried in Hebron. Please swear to me. And Torah says, Yosef swore to him. He's going to take him to Eretz Israel. Next paragraph, Torah tells us that Ephraim was Chabuta of Yaakov. Went to Yosef, he told Yosef, your father is sick. Says the Gemara, nobody was ever sick before Yaakov. Sickness was invented by Yaakov Avinu, the Gemara says. Yaakov Avinu begged the Kadosh Baruch Hu, the person should be sick before he dies, in order for him to be able to do the will for his children. Yaakov only asked for 3 days. In the meantime, we have in the hospitals over here for years, people are. But everything started from Yaakov. That's what the Gemara says. And everybody died from the sickness until Chizkiyahu. Never got sick, always died. Chizkiyahu was the first person that was able to recuperate, to survive the sickness. So Torah tells us that's the information. That Yaakov is sick now. So Yosef grabbed his children, the Gemara says, wants to go to Yaakov to get the bracha from Yaakov. So the question is, with all the respect, Yosef HaTzadik, why don't you go tell your brothers to come? You didn't tell them. He wants to get the bracha for your children, so you feel that Yaakov's going to die. So you should call your brothers as well. He doesn't call them. He comes to Yaakov. Yaakov gives him a speech. He tells him, look, I never thought I'm going to be able to see you. Now that I see you and your children, what I'm going to tell you is that your children, Menashe and Ephraim, are going to be like my own children. Really doesn't make a big difference, but the Gemara says it means that they have their own tribe. And also, they can have separate territory, properties in Eretz Israel on their name. It doesn't make so much, but he emphasized it. Be like Reuben and Shimon. Menashe and Ephraim be like Reuben and Shimon. What is the reason, with all the respect to Yaakov, to do such a thing? You have other grandchildren now. At that time that Yaakov was talking, the Gemara says already Am Yisrael multiplied a lot. The Gemara says at the time Yaakov died, Am Yisrael already had 600,000 people. But the 17 years that Yaakov was in Egypt, the people got married and they had miracles and gave birth one to the other. But it doesn't matter the number. But even when Yaakov went down to Egypt with his children already, he went down with the grandchildren. Especially now, 17 years, after 17 years, he lives in Egypt. Of course, he has more grandchildren. So what's the privilege? Why you do such a thing? Because Gemara says, you're not allowed to differentiate it and prefer one on the other. Gemara says, one of the reasons we suffer so much in Egypt because Yaakov made a special garment for Yosef. Gemara says you should never, ever differentiate between children. You can't. Everybody has to be the same. And then Yaakov goes and he continues what he did before. He says, your children will be my children. How about the other Shabbatim? They have children too. How about them? Nothing. Well, nothing. I said, by the way, no, let me tell you something. I'm going to give you a bracha. Okay. Yes, he doesn't ask for a bracha. Yeah, I'll give him a bracha. He says, the Torah reads like this. Elokim, Hashem, אשר ישלחו לפניו אברהם ויצחק Abraham Yitzchak, they walked in front of Hashem, whatever it means. And it repeats, Elokim arei oti, Hashem is my shepherd, Modi hayom hazeh, from the time that I know myself until now. יברך את הנערים. המלאך הגואל אותי, it's a sentence the person should say before he goes to sleep. Simple explanation means on the surface is an angel, that Yaakov says. Angel that helped me and saved me, redeemed me. He will bless those children. ויקרא בהם שמי בשם אבותיו אברהם יצחק, my name and my forefathers, Abraham Yitzchak should be also on top of those children. It should multiply and be like fish. I don't know what this bracha exactly means, but that's what Yaakov says to Yosef. Continues the Torah. The children sat at the time on Yaakov's lap, on his knees. Yosef goes over in the text. He takes them off Yaakov's knees, and he positions. Menashe should be on the right side of Yaakov, and Ephraim on the left side. And Yaakov should give a big bracha, so called to Menashe because he's older, because the right hand of Yaakov has more power. We see, I don't know exactly what it is. And position them in front of Yaakov, and Yaakov crossed his hands. He put his right hand on the Ephraim and the left hand on Menashe. And it says, well, I want to give a bracha. So the Torah says that Joseph is trying to push away Yaakov's hand. And Yaakov said, no, I know everything, don't worry about it. Even though I don't see so well, I know this guy Ephraim is much bigger. He's going to have a grandson Yehoshua. This guy's going to have a grandson Gideon. Okay, so Yaakov said, okay, so bless them. You read the text, no blessing. No blessing. What Yaakov is going to say? Yaakov is going to say, see those children? Ephraim and Menashe? Whoever wants to bless his child should say, your child should be like Ephraim and Menashe. We never give him a bracha. We read the text. Yosef grabbed them to get a bracha. Never get a bracha. Yosef took them off Yaakov's lap to give them a bracha. They don't get a bracha. Not only don't get a bracha, the bracha, Yaakov said, B'chai v'ech Yisrael Amor, says, Am Yisrael, you should know. Somebody wants to give a bracha, he said it should be Ephraim and Menashe. By the way, when you see the Brit Milah, it's very important. That everybody says, Mazal Tov, this, that. Everybody should say, the baby should be like Ephraim and Menashe. Who said it? Yaakov. Yaakov said, excuse me, what do you know any information about Ephraim and Menashe? Well, Ephraim was Yaakov's chavuta, okay? Or is he genius or something? You know anything about him? You know anything about him? There's no information about Yaakov. Menashe for sure you have no information. No information about him. There's no information about him. He was just a COO of the palace. There's no information. Not that the name is so great, Menashe. But that's the blessing. Bye. Finished. All of a sudden, not all of a sudden, in that speech, now that Yaakov gives Yosef, he tells him, listen, your children, this. One of the sentences he said like this, Yosef, you should know, when I came back from Laban's house, so Rachel died, and I buried her over there, on the way. And I didn't take her to Hebron. And I know that you, the son of Rachel, you have some kind of bad taste in your mouth about it. How come you didn't take her to Marat HaMachpelah? Because eventually Yaakov is going to give, you see, I'm going to get buried over there. But there is Leah. Well, Rachel was, it's called Akirat Habayit. The main thing is Rachel. I know you have it on your head. So, I tell you why. Because Hashem told me to do it. Because Yimach Shemon and Nebuchadnezzar and Uzaradan, Yimach Shemam, they destroyed Israel. They take Israel to Iraq. After they killed hundreds of millions of Jews, the last 15,000 Jewish people are going to be chained. Without clothing, go to Iraq. They're going to pass Bethlehem, where Rachel is buried, on the way to Iraq. That's the way to go to Iraq. And Rachel will come out of her grave and pray to Hashem, have mercy on those 15,000. And that's why I buried Rachel in Bethlehem. So please don't be upset at me, don't have bad taste, because... Okay, again, information. Again, the whole thing is information, we don't have to know it, as the Zohar says. But that statement of Yaakov that he says about Rachel Imenu, about this, should have said right away, in the beginning of the parasha. When Yaakov asked Yosef, please swear to me, take me to Israel. At that moment, he should say, listen, I want to tell you something. I'm asking you to take me to Israel, but I know you have something on your head, on your heart. I know that you're upset. But you didn't mention anything. It's over. Well, you tell him right away. Yosef, even though I'm asking you to take me to Eretz Israel, I do know that you have something bothers you that I didn't take your mother to Eretz Israel, to Hebron, just buried in Bethlehem. He doesn't say. Now, all of a sudden he wakes up and tells me, listen, by the way, don't be upset at me. I didn't ask you now. You should have told me before. That wasn't the same day. It was a few days before. You know, say, in Tfilah, 18, אלוקי אברהם, אלוקי יצחק, אלוקי יעקב, so this is the power, the Gemara says. The Gemara says, Avraham Avinu, בזכותו, he's married, we have שחרית, יצחק במנחה, יעקב בערבית. And surprisingly, the Zohar says Musaf is because of Yosef. Yosef. Zchut of Yosef. So the Gemara comes and tells a statement like this. You know, in the Hebrew language, there are 5 letters. You write them differently at the end of the word. Chaf Sofit, Mem Sofit, Nun Sofit, Pei Sofit, Tzadi Sofit. It's a secret in it. But they represent bad forces. Says the Gemara, you should know what the job on this world is to be accomplished. So accomplish those so-called 5 end letters in the world. As the Gemara tell you, Avraham Avinu, it says Lech Lecha, it says double half of it. To tell you, if you read Sefer Bereshit, you should know. You read Avraham this, Avraham that, Avraham this. At the end of the day, what was the accomplishment? The accomplishment, Avraham Avinu was able, so-called, to control that force. It's called Mansapach, bad force, part of the Satan. By doing what he did with the information that you read, it says he fixed the letter Chaf Sofit. Yitzchak Rabbeinu fixed the letter Mem Sofit. When Avimelech came to him, Fichol, you read the story about Yitzchak carefully, so you learn about his personality and about his behavior, so then you know what you have to do. Yaakov fixed Nun Sofit. Yaakov was praying to Hashem, Atzlini na miad achi, double Nun. Avraham Avinu double Chaf Sofit, Lech Lecha, Yitzchak, Mimenu, Mem, Yaakov, Nun, and Yosef face of it. The Torah will end this week's parasha. It concludes Sefer Bereshit. Pakol yifkod Elokim etchem. Yosef said Hashem is going to remember and redeem you, he repeats it. The word pakod ifkod, it means the letter Fe double, to tell you the accomplishment of Yosef is letter Fe. It means those 4 out of 5 best forces are going to be controlled and fixed by Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and Yosef, and that's the secret of the tefillot, the shudra. The tefillot is in the morning. You have to have in mind Avraham Avinu, it's Chav Sofit, Mincha, you have Mem Sofit, Amit is Nun Sofit, and Musaf is Fei Sofit. Tzalit Sofit, the Gemara says, is going to be fixed by the Mashiach. It means, in order for Mashiach to come, you have to know Sefer Bereshit, it's called Sefer HaYashar, straight, and then you know you're ready for Mashiach. I'm excited for Mashiach. But if you know Sefer Bereshit well, and you know what you got to do, what you're not supposed to do, so, of course, it mainly is the habits, the midot, not just to keep, the mitzvot, That is really the purpose of this book. Adam Rishon should have been Mashiach because of his misbehavior. He lost it. And the Gemara said, until Avraham Avinu, nobody's going to come and we try and be able to do any correction of Adam Rishon's behavior. Avraham is the first one. The Gemara says the world started because of Avraham. Why? What do you know about Avraham? Avraham is the first one who's going to start do the job that Adam Rishon had to do and failed and didn't do the job. So slowly it's going to be Avraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov and Yosef, and now we're ready for Mashiach. That's the secret. And that's why at the end of this parasha, Yaakov calls up the children. He says, I want to tell you the time of Mashiach. Mashiach? What do you mean Mashiach now? And Mashiach because Baruch Hashem, I am here and Yosef is here. And says so we are so-called at the end, so-called of the job. It means 80% of the job is done. This Chachamim say the person, every time he mentions I'm talking to Yaakov, he has to know that I'm talking to Yaakov. He can't say that. You're the God of Abraham. He says, what do you got to do with it? Because you're against the Abraham, so what? Esav is also against the Abraham. And Nimach Shimam, Hamas also grandchildren of Abraham. But it means you have to know exactly what Abraham did. The Gemara says Abraham kept all mitzvot, even the mitzvot were not giving yet. And the same thing Yitzchak, and the same Yaakov, learn the Torah, and let Yosef, his beauty, his holiness. It's all the things, all of the above, is to tell you, okay, now you pray to Hashem, you tell him, Elokei Abraham, God of Abraham, God of Yitzchak, God of Yaakov, he says, oh, me, I'm doing it. This and there, and Sefer Bereshit, and I know the job of Abraham, and I'm going to try very hard to make Abraham Avinu. I'm trying very hard to be like Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Shabbat you do Musaf, he says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I want to be like Yosef. That's the secret of the parasha. It's the secret of the book. But what is really the task? What's the task? So you read Sefer Yechezkel and also Tehillim a lot of times. Refer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu as a shepherd, and we are the sheep. Hashem tells it to Yechezkel, go tell Am Yisrael. Actually, we say it in Tefillah every morning. And Mizmor LeTodah, it says, person praises Hashem. The Gemara says that's the only thing we're going to say when Mashiach will come. It can be no Siddur. You can say Mizmor LeTodah for 10,000 years. That's the punchline of that Mizmor LeTodah. Who are we? We are the sheep of Hashem. It's a privilege to be the sheep of Hashem. It's good that Hashem wants you to be his sheep, to be part of his sheep. But this is the goal of our life. Comes the Gemara and says, I want to explain to you something. You know, the Shresh Bebetecha, Gemara says, very important, you know, the Tzalach and Shulchan Aruch. The three things that if somebody comes to the Knesset, and the congregation is up to it, he has to join the congregation. One is Shema Yisrael. You come to the Knesset, you say Shema Yisrael, you say Shema Yisrael. Of course, Nagdishach also. So you come to the Knesset, you say Shema Yisrael, you say Shema Yisrael. קדושה, come to עלינו לשבח, you have to say עלינו לשבח. You must say עלינו לשבח when you come to the Knesset. Even if you prayed before, it doesn't matter. You hear people say עלינו לשבח, you have to say. It's a very powerful thing. עלינו לשבח. There's a lot of secrets in that paragraph. Very big secrets. Yeshua made it. And then the wall of Jericho sank in the ground after he said עלינו לשבח. And the third thing is Ashrei. You come to the Knesset, you say Ashrei Shvu B'techa, you prayed over it, it doesn't matter. You have to join, you have to say Achain Shulchan Aruch. You have to say Ashrei with them. One of the reasons, there's a lot of reasons, one of the reasons the Gemara says, לפותח את ידיך, הפרנסה, a person should have in mind, very, very strong, say Ashrei B'techa in the sentence, let Hashem opens his hands and supplies, parnasa. Hashem gives you parnasa. So the next sentence after this, so the letter faith. Of course, you just realize his faith. Joseph's letter is faith. Next sentence is tzadi because it's alphabetical order. Asher Shevitecha. Next is tzadik Hashem Chol Dachav. Hashem is tzadik. What has to do with Hashem tzadik now? What do you say Hashem tzadik? Of course Hashem is tzadik. What do you say tzadik Hashem Chol Dachav? Hashem is tzadik. Hashem is tzadik. So the Gemara says what it means is Zohar says it means like this. There are two people in the world ever who are called tzadikim. First one is Noah. That Hashem even told him in his face that tzaddik. The second one is Yosef. And the Navi Amos, of course, is prophecy, refers to Yosef as a tzaddik. Amicham Kesef tzaddik. Only two. All the rest, Abraham not tzaddik, Yitzchak not, Yaakov not. Only Noach and Yosef. What is between those two people? Says the Gemara, those two people supported the world. Of course, the question is if Hashem tells Noach in his face, you tzaddik. So you're going to lock him up in the teva now for 1 year. And what does he have to do? He has to give food to all the creatures and wash them as well. Because 1 year there's no toilets over there and no showers over there. You can imagine 1 year, but what's the teva should smell and what's going to leave is all the dirt of all the animals. Talking about all the animals. It wasn't a miracle they didn't go to the bathroom. It doesn't say they didn't have diapers. Noach had to clean them. Did you see tzaddik? Hashem tells Noach, I love you very much. You didn't say you love me? What do you made me? Not a zookeeper, a janitor. The secret behind it. Let's call a shepherd. The word shepherd doesn't mean it just you take the sheep outside. You have to worry about it. And actually, the first shepherd in the Torah is Hevel. The Torah tells you Hevel was a shepherd. Why the Torah tells you that Hevel was a shepherd? Who cares what he did? I don't care what he did. Two brothers, Cain and Hevel. I says, no, Hevel is shepherd. It says in the Zohar that Hevel came back to this world first as Noach, as Shet, and then Noach, and then Moshe. It's the same neshama. And that's what the Torah tells you, Moshe was a shepherd. But Noach was so-called high-quality shepherd. The Gemara says that Noach's father asked him, when Noach got a little bit older, if I want to retire, would you support me? He said, of course. Are you going to support also my father? Of course. My grandfather? My grandfather? Of course. The Gemara says the first one that said he is going to support everybody. That's why he invented here the privilege to invent the plow, because he is to support. And therefore Hashem said, okay, your job is a shepherd. Now go inside the table. You're the shepherd of the world. Not a shepherd. Take care of all animals. And that's why the Gemara says it. That Noach is called tzaddik because he wants to be a shepherd. He wants to be, not because he was chosen by Hashem. Soon we'll see the depth of it. So the Gemara, same thing Yosef. Yosef is a shepherd. Katzon Yosef, Rabbi Aderet, chapter 18, Tehillim. It's a very powerful. You can't say, not to say more powerful, less powerful, certain things. But I was in Yeshiva, Rebbe Levyan. This was the chapter that was emphasized in Yeshiva. Emphasized. The chapter starts, Roy Israel Azina, the shepherd of Israel. And really it means something else as well, we'll see soon. Nohe Katzon Yosef. Hashem, you lead the sheep like Yosef. Yosef? What do you mean, Yosef? So it's a few explanations. That Yosef really is a shepherd. That's why it's called tzaddik like Noach. And then now the Torah tells you, he comes and he can support his father and the brothers. After the father will die, will take care of the whole family. And then he really supported the whole world because of him. It's called tzaddik Hashem Chol Dachav. You pay for Parnasa. It's very important. It's the most important sentence in Ashrei. Emphasize it. The Parnasa comes from the sentence. And you do it. You have in mind Olam Israel, of course. In the following sentence, the letter tzaddik. The tzaddik, remember? Tzaddik is the letter of Mashiach. I said, what is tzaddik? Tzaddik Hashem Chol Dachav. I said, I'll tell you what. Patachet Yadecha depends on being a shepherd. Let's call it tzaddik. Tzaddik Hashem Chol Dachav. Hashem is a tzaddik. You know Hashem is tzaddik. The tzaddik concept is the one that you get because you give parnasa, because you supply. And that's really the task of this world. The Torah starts, what happened? Hevel, shepherd. Hevel Rashid is going to end. The story with Yosef, the shepherd. The Torah will end. Hevel Rashid, Yosef died. Well, Yosef was able to everything shepherd. That's the secret. And that's really the secret. Rizal says that Yaakov and Yosef is really the same entity. That from Abraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov was a shepherd. Abraham had a lot of cattle and sheep and everything, but he was not a shepherd. Yaakov was a shepherd for 20 years in Laban's house. He was a shepherd. But it's not really, I shouldn't have to say the word, if that is what it is. The secret of our life is the first woman shepherd, Rachel Imenu. I'll tell us a story. That Yaakov goes to Laban's house, so he stops at the well and he asks the shepherds over there, do you know Laban? They said, no, of course we know him, but Rachel's coming, and she is a shepherd. The Torah emphasizes that Rachel is a shepherd. Well, she had a sister, Leah, and Leah was older. Why Rachel is a shepherd? Because Rachel's concept, she understood she's a shepherd. It's called Mama Rachel, Rachel Imenu. Well, Leah is also Imenu. Leah had 6 children. Most of Am Israel are not from Rachel. Most of them are from Leah. Nevertheless, it's called Akeret Habayit. The main part is Rachel. The Gemara says also you should know we're here because of Rachel Imenu. At the time, of Bet HaMikdash, Menashe put a statue. In Bet HaMikdash, Hashem wanted to destroy the world. Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov came over and begged him, no, don't do it. Hashem said, enough is enough. I'm fed up with the world. The Gemara says Rachel came to Hashem and said, Hashem, listen. I was about to get married to Yaakov and I gave my life to my sister. Please, you HaKadosh Baruch Hu, also forgive it. I said, what's so important to give your sister? What does it mean exactly? The Torah tells us you should know when Rachel did not have children after everybody had all these children, she came to Yaakov and she said, I need children, if not, I'm dead. Dead? You're not dead. Gemara says, you know what? Somebody that's not have children is called dead person. Gemara says, why is called dead? Everything is perfect. Gemara says, no. Look, Rachel said to Yaakov, I'm dead. What's the secret behind it? Because it's called a shepherd. Of course, you have in mind Olam Israel, that you want to be a shepherd, you want to help Olam Israel. You want to be rich because you want to help. You don't want to be rich because you want to consume it, to have it, to own it. But first, you want your product. And the reason is because if you're a shepherd, your children are going to be shepherds. That's you're going to teach your children. And that's really the secret of Menashe and Ephraim. That Yaakov says to Yosef, when he wants a bracha, he doesn't give them a bracha. He gave them a bracha. Yosef doesn't realize it. But he said, listen, you want to give a bracha to somebody? Tell him to be like Menashe and Ephraim and Menashe. So what do you mean? What do you mean? See, Yaakov made Ephraim and Menashe as his children. And Yaakov is a shepherd. And Yaakov is a shepherd because Hashem is a shepherd. Yaakov says, listen, he says, Yosef, I want to explain to you something. Abraham and Yitzchak, my father and my grandfather, they ran in front of Hashem all the time. Abraham said, they ran in front of Hashem. But it means, this Gemara says like this. By keeping the mitzvot, even the mitzvot were not given yet. Abraham and Yitzchak, especially Abraham, kept all the mitzvot, Ruach HaKodesh. It's just to tell you that you go in front of Hashem, you clear so-called the way for Hashem to have more people. That's a very important thing. But what is really the job in this world, what you have to do? Somebody can ask himself, what do you do in this world? So the Gemara says, you have to imitate Hashem. And Ari says, based on the Zohar, because 13 midot, Hashem, Kelachom, Chanun, the Gemara says is very important. And somebody in Yeshua should say 13 midot every morning, say Tachanun, say Kelachom, Chanun. Ari says, don't expect HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be merciful and very kind to you, and very patient for you, very patient, if you have no patience. He's not going to be patient with you. He's not going to give you what you want. If you don't want to give, if you have no mercy, Hashem will not have mercy. So when you say the 13 midot, erech, apayim, rafretzet, emet, it says make sure it says that you are on the same path. Because if you're not on the same path, Hashem laughs at you. You expect me to be mercy to you, and you're not mercy to other people, to other creatures. It's a joke. So the Gemara says, what you have to do is you have to imitate Hashem. So by being merciful and kind, what is really Hashem wants to be? Why Hashem wants me to be kind and merciful? Why? Because it's nice. No, not because of that. Because then that you gain the title of shepherd. 17 is full of sentences that Hashem loves you because He is a shepherd. That's why Noach was a shepherd, because He just did not just give them food. He washed them. And the Gemara says when a person does a sin, based on Pasuk in Navi, when a person does not behave, he creates dirt. And when somebody does teshuvah, it means Hashem has to clear the dirt. And that dirt described in the Gemara very bad, very bad. And Hashem washes it, because it's the job of a shepherd. Not Hashem chose this job, but Hashem created this world because He's a shepherd and He wants to have sheep. That's the purpose of creation. Hashem is good, but good means shepherd. And that's what the world stands on. Of course, the world stands on kindness, on mercy, and patience. No. All those are just escalator to get you to feel and to fulfill the obligation that you want to be a shepherd. What do you want to be? Shepherd. Nothing. Why do you want to be a shepherd? Because I want to be called a tzaddik. I want to be like Noach and Yosef. That's the only two people that Hashem called them tzaddik. With all the respect, Abraham, Yitzchak, nothing. Not even Yaakov. It's true that Yaakov is a shepherd, but not so high. The Ari says that the word Musaf is abbreviation, Stom Period, Mastinum Katrgenu. Hashem, please close all the prosecutors against us. That's how powerful Musaf is. And that is so-called the invention, or we call the victory of Yosef, because his behavior, not just because he's holy and pure, just because he loved everybody, never hated his brothers, never had a revenge in his heart. Nothing. I said the opposite. No matter what they did to him, loved them, supported them. I said that's what you gain to be a shepherd. That's what you have the privilege to make Tfilat Musaf. That's a very powerful. Of course, we know Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. The most important Tfilah is Musaf. Musaf, you should know. That Musaf, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, is going to help if you have some connection to Yosef. And the connection is just a shepherd. And that's really the secret of Rachel Imenu. Rachel Imenu is a shepherd. So the Gemara tells us Yaakov came down to Egypt and he looked at Yosef, and the Zohar says Yosef looked like Rachel. And Yaakov looked at him all the time and said, oh, I remember Rachel, remember Rachel. What simple explanation means, his wife died years ago and he loved her, what we call, and Yosef reminded her. This just should do the opposite. If somebody sees the image of his wife that he loves so much in front of him all the time, he remembers it, reminds himself about his wife, always should be upset. The Zohar says it was the opposite. Yaakov looked at Yosef, so he looks like Rachel. What's the secret? Torah herself describes Rachel, she's very beautiful. And the same descriptions is about Yosef. Again, you think he was handsome. And Rachel was beautiful. And it says, why the Torah has to tell you this? Who cares about? Who cares about Rachel? You think Yaakov married Rachel because she was beautiful? Where's Yaakov Miller? 77 years old man, just came from yeshiva, he's looking for beauty. What it means is Yaakov looked at Rachel, and so, that's what the people told me, she's a shepherd. That's the goal. She is the mother of Am Israel. How come I say her sister is not a shepherd? Because that's what's Rachel's job. Rachel, she wants to be a shepherd. I don't know if you remember, I think about 20 years ago, maybe even less, I don't remember. One of the times that Am Israel went to Gaza. And they said the soldiers went someplace on the street, was a wire. I was about to cross the wire, and the lady stood over there. I said, don't cross it. It's electric, it's a bomb. And I asked the lady, who are you? She said, I'm Rachel. They said at the times of Mordechai Eliyahu, before Israel started this war against them, in Machshimam Hamas, he went to Kever Rachel and he prayed, Rachel, please, Rachel, please. So the Gemara said, look, Yaakov Avinu didn't die. Yaakov Avinu, the Gemara says, the brothers buried him, Yosef buried him for nothing. He's alive down there. Actually, the Gemara says that not only him, but he is more alive than Avraham Yitzchak. But the Gemara says that Eliyahu Navi comes daily to Marat HaMachpelah in Hebron, wakes up Avraham Yitzchak and Yaakov, one at a time, stands them up, and they do mincha, and then he puts them back. The Gemara says. Rachel Imenu, it says that she came out of a grave, stood on the highway, and prayed to Hashem. By herself she stood up, because she's a shepherd, a real shepherd. That's the reason the Gemara says, that Hashem chose Moshe Rabbeinu and David HaMelech to be our leaders, because they used to be shepherds. Because again, shepherd is not just to take the sheep outside and tell them to go pasteurize over there. Shepherd means every sheep you take care of it 100%. was a very big Rebbe in Israel. It was Sassov Rebbe. Somebody once saw him in the mikveh. There's a birthmark on his back, like a big line. So the guy asked him, "What do you have?" I said, "Well, very strange thing. You have a birthmark as a line on your back?" He said, "Yeah. In my last life, I was a sheep, and Jacob's among his sheep, and I didn't behave, and somebody slapped me over there with a rope, or with a stick, and that's reminded me that I was a sheep by Yaakov Avinu." And that's the secret of our life. You want to be sheep by Hashem, but Rachel and Yaakov, the match, because Rachel is a shepherd, and Yaakov is just, he said, "I'm a shepherd too, and I am not like my father and my grandfather. They used to run in front of Hashem." And that's what the secret is. Yaakov calls up Yosef, says, "Listen, I want to be buried in Israel." He doesn't say anything about Rachel Imenu. He's going to call him, "Listen, I want to," when he gets sick, then all of a sudden, Ephraim is going to tell Yosef, "Papa is sick, come." Yaakov is going to take only his children, because the brothers, they don't want to be shepherds. That's the secret between Yosef, the Zohar says, and the brothers. The brothers don't want to be shepherds. They were shepherds, but they're not shepherds. The Zohar says they don't take care of the sheep. That's what one day Yaakov called up Yosef, said, "I want you to go check the sheep. Go see what the brothers do." What does the brother? What can you do? Because he didn't take care of it. The Gemara says they used to take the sheep and they used to go outside and have a good time. Yosef is a shepherd. So it means that Ephraim told Yosef, "Yaakov is sick." Yosef take the children right away, come to Yaakov, get a bracha. I said, what do you think you give them a bracha? A bracha to be like Yosef. Because Yosef is a shepherd. So that, at that time, that they come to Yaakov, then Yaakov said, "Okay, I want to tell you something. Remember, I know you have in your heart something about how come I didn't take your mother and buried your mother, but you should know that Hashem told me to do it because one day is going to be exiled and she'll come out of the grave." You see? When Yaakov is talking about being shepherd, and he's going to say, "Menashe and Ephraim are going to be my children because I want them to be part of the sheep." He's going to mention to Yosef, "Listen, by the way, your mother was a shepherd, and she's a shepherd, and she's there. And she's out for her children, even though she's so-called dead." And that's really what we read after for Rosh Hashanah. And Hashem tells Rachel, "Don't cry. You married, will come out of exile." Because she devoted herself to be a shepherd. And she said, "If I got no children, I'm dead." Well, you're not dead. You don't do your job, you're dead. I want to be a shepherd. The job that Hashem designated the world as everybody should be a shepherd. That's Hashem being described as a shepherd. This Sefer Bereshit is called Sefer Yashar, it's a straight book. And as Dari says, preparation for Mashiach, that Yaakov wants to reveal time of Mashiach, he can't reveal time. All of a sudden he can't really ask the children, "What happened?" Somebody does something. No, Shema Yisrael said, everybody believes in Hashem, and we all believe in Hashem. I can't tell you when Mashiach is going to come. I said, "What happened? Why you can't tell me when Mashiach is going to come?" "I don't know, I wanted, I was about." The Gemara says, only two people knew exactly the final date of this world. Yaakov Avinu and Daniel. Mashiach can come any moment. But there is a date. Still a date. It's a date for sure Mashiach is going to be here. He says, who knows it? Yaakov knew it. Okay. Torah says Yaakov called his children and said, let me tell you when Mashiach is going to come. Okay, tell us. "Oh, I can't. I don't know. All of a sudden, blackage in his eyes. Let me just give you a bracha." I said, what happened to Mashiach? Mashiach is going to come after him. It's called, he fixed the letter Mem and letter Nun, letter face, feet. Chaf Safid, Mem Safid, Nun Safid, Fe Safid. Okay, here is Joseph. Okay, Abraham fixed, Yitzchak fixed, Baruch Hashem fixed, here is Joseph fixed. Okay, Mashiach is now. We're not up to it. Mashiach is now if everybody wants to be a shepherd. It's called that you want to support everybody. You want to help everybody. As the Gemara says, Mashiach is not here, but Mashiach is not here because people don't like so much to help. They don't like so much. It's not chinam, it's the opposite of being a shepherd. Shepherd never speaks Lashon Hara. The opposite is sheep. They have to behave to each other. And that's the conclusion of Sefer Bereshit to tell us you want to be straight, מדבר Mashiach now, 18, אלוקי אברהם, אלוקי יצחק ליעקב, pray, פתח את ידיך, pray. Only depends on one thing. You have to be a shepherd. How do you become a shepherd? You have to, the escalator is, you have to be kind and merciful. Okay, amen. No. Being a shepherd is after that, like Abraham. Abraham kept the whole Torah, kept before the Torah was given all the little details. And Yitzchak Abinu and Yaakov Abinu went to yeshiva up to age 77, learning. All of the above is just to escalate the person to reach the level. I'm talking Yaakov and Yosef, the Mashiach Rabbi Aderet. Amen.